Attention!
Welcome to the Film Mages Podcast, where the popcorn is our ammunition, the couch is our foxhole, and the cinema is our place of worship.
Now let me see your war face. Ah!
Harris abound. It had to be you.
And welcome to the Film
Oh, are we
Mages,
recording?
everybody.
Oh, sweet Lord.
Great.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well.
I'm Zach.
I am Mick.
I'm Alexis.
And we're catching Mick at a sleepy hour, because Mick has
A little
been-
sleepy.
Yeah.
Sleepy,
I've
but
had a long day at work today. But you know what? I worked with like 10 to 12, I lost count, dogs. It was fantastic. It was probably one of the best first team situations I have ever had.
That's awesome.
It was fantastic. People kept, I posted it on my Instagram and people kept messaging me, oh, what is this? Oh my God, I would work there for free. What is that? And I said, oh, it's a reboot of Homeward Bound. It's actually a AARP commercial.
my
but-
favorite thing about working on sets is lying to all the people who come across you, and when they ask
Yes.
you what are you guys recording, and then you just come up with everything and anything
Right.
but what you're actually doing.
Yeah.
And then they just believe you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
no.
one time in Santa Monica, I was on a lockup, and this, it was like this, can I say homeless or is it houseless now?
I think you could say homeless.
Homeless.
I think that's fine.
Okay, well, if I'm offending you, I'm sorry. But a homeless person came up to me, and he looked like over my shoulder, and he went, hey, what's going on?
Wow. Wow, man.
You saw that coming, right?
I'm gonna be
Alexis
honest.
did. I can tell she saw it coming.
I didn't see it coming.
I didn't see it coming.
I was surprised.
I
I had
don't
someone.
know. I was treading carefully wherever you were going.
That's just why. That's sage advice in general.
Yeah. I had one time when I was working on Emily the Criminal where someone came by and he was like, hey, what are you guys shooting here? And normally the lie is like, oh, it's a mayonnaise commercial. Like,
Yeah.
you come up with something that is extremely
no, one of
bold.
our
That-
PAs did that before because somebody
Well,
was
that's a
asking like,
common
what's
one.
going on, you know?
That's
Yeah.
a common one.
All right. It's
Which, by the
already
way,
happened.
we have to use the music again because she said
We
it.
don't have to do it again.
Yeah, but we just did because when listeners are listening to this, we're gonna do it
well,
twice.
I'm editing
Why
it,
are we
so-
doing it twice?
Because you said it again.
Can I tell my story?
Sure.
Yes,
I
of
just want
course.
to tell the story about the time where someone asked me what we were filming, and I told them it was Blade 4. And then I spent like a solid 10 minutes lying about the plot of Blade 4.
And next thing you knew, you realized you had actually written.
I had written
You
Blade
had given
4,
a
and-
treatment for Blade
yeah,
4 by accident.
And now I've been hired by Disney
God.
to punch up the Mahershala Ali Blade.
Wouldn't
so
that be
that's-
hilarious if that fake pitch you gave actually ended up being the next Blade movie? And you're like, oh my God, that person I pitched it to must have been a
It
producer.
was Kevin Feige.
They stole my idea, those bastards.
God
That's why I
damn
hate lockups.
Yeah, so what's going on, everybody? What have we been up to?
How we doing?
Alexis, you've seen some films.
Yeah, she's seen some shit.
You've seen some shit.
Just look at her.
I think I've watched like 10 movies in the past like week since we've
Wow.
like recorded.
Oh,
It's
do
crazy
tell, do
when there's
tell.
like nothing going on in your life. You really do
You
just
can
go
watch
back.
a lot of movies.
Yeah.
You know, you just go back to what's important, and it's creating content for
It's-
our podcast.
That's exactly
Yep,
what's important.
it's
and
cultivation.
I've always said that. That's the most important thing in my life.
Life just gets in the way of this podcast, and not the other way around.
Exactly.
True.
Exactly.
I know. I think the reason why I went so hard this week is because I know that I'm gonna start tax season next week. So I'm like, "Arr, I gotta do the fun shit while I can.
That's great. Are you working
like-
from home with that? Or are
Yeah,
you
I'm
going to
working from
Fresno?
home.
Nice.
You're looking at the tax season
I've-
and you're like,
I've-
arr.
Never had to go to Fresno to do tax season.
Oh, that was a blueberry job?
That's the blueberry job. Yeah.
The blueberry job.
Okay.
I'll do
All right.
blueberry and I do taxes.
She's a fantastic blueberry. You should see her in a suit.
I don't
Let's get this fucking under control.
I don't like any of what's happening. I don't understand what's happening.
I told people I'm
going
going to be loopy.
What's happening?
I warned you.
And I'd like to know what's going on.
Okay, well, I watched Dogfight, which is a 1991 movie with River Phoenix and Lily Taylor
Oh yeah.
My high school, after I graduated, did a musical version of that.
Of Dogfight?
Yes.
Oh, really? I'd never seen it before, but I've been kind of on this, like, I want to watch more of, like, River Phoenix's stuff. Like, I've seen My Private Idaho and Stand By Me, but I haven't really seen, like, much else.
Right.
It made me cry a little bit because it was so sweet.
That's nice.
I was like, damn, first love must be nice. You know? I was like, it's kind of precious.
We are in the romantic season now.
We
everyone.
are.
Yeah. So now it's gonna get really sad around here.
Yeah, I watched The Eternal Daughter, not as good. I was so bored.
The what?
The Eternal Daughter with Tilda Swinton. She plays the mother
is that a
and
new
the
one?
daughter. Yeah, it came out last year. Director is Joanna Hogg. I thought
Boring.
it was really boring, but I mean, my favorite thing that somebody said on Letterboxd was maybe since they got Tilda Swinton to do both of the main roles, they could spend more on the fog machine. Because I'm telling you, the fog machine was great.
Okay.
Was there good atmosphere?
It was great atmosphere.
Fantastic.
You know what
atmosphere.
I've discovered recently is that I enjoy a film that's cold.
It's cold.
You said that the other night. Yeah.
Yeah,
What was
I-
that
like
referring to?
desaturated or
No, like actually
there's
a
snow
cold
on
film.
the ground. Like I enjoy
Okay.
a cold flick.
like
Yeah.
The Thing?
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
like The
yeah,
Thing.
No, The Thing is a great example.
What were
But
we
I was
watching?
watching The Hateful Eight.
Oh,
And I
that's
was
what
like,
it was. Yeah.
wow, this is a chilly film, and I'm already having a good time.
No. Sorry, that was very loud. Am I level? Is the volume like?
I turned
up?
you down.
I
I
feel
can
like I'm
turn you
peaking.
down more. You'll be okay. I'll manage
I'm
it.
crowning.
Nobody over there needs to worry about it. I got it. We're good.
Fantastic.
I promise.
No, we were watching The Fugitive. That's when you
Yeah,
mentioned
we
it.
were.
Oh my god, I'd seen that before. Obviously, you can't be a fucking film major if you haven't seen The Fugitive, and you can't be a film listener if you haven't seen Alexis, have you seen The
Alexis?
Fugitive?
Alexis.
Should you just
Is that
leave?
Harrison Ford?
Oh my god.
It sure is.
And Tommy Lee Jones is.
In an Academy Award-winning performance.
Yeah.
Cool.
As Deputy Sam Gerard, U.S. Marshal
I'm
Service.
feeling really sold on this right now.
It's a great film.
No, it actually is a really great film.
I know it's a great film.
You know how you know it's a great film?
Didn't kill his wife.
It's a great film because our former professor David Shear likes it. Therefore, it's a goddamn masterpiece.
David. Yeah.
Well, then
That's his words, not mine. But
I think then we can include Ordinary People in that.
Still
Ordinary
haven't seen
People.
that.
I haven't seen that.
So great. It just
Okay.
makes
I
me bawl.
I live that. Why would I want to watch that?
Wow.
I'm an
I don't
ordinary
live
person.
that. I'm an exceptional person.
Aww,
Yeah.
that was a nice little thing.
Are
Yeah.
you live it? Are you also a middle class family experiencing intense grief?
Yes, I am.
I've always described him like that.
Yeah, I am I'm an entire nuclear middle class family, all wrapped into one.
all wrapped in one big
All one big
tortilla
Cronenberg
of
amalgamation.
grief.
Oh,
But yeah, no, we were watching The Fugitive. Great film, really great.
Exceptional.
It's
film.
it
It's
really
one
is
of my favorites.
an exceptional movie. And then we watched after because we were like we think a good double feature with Fugitive would be Silence of the Lambs. We didn't watch it though because we had just seen it, and instead we
You had
watched.
just seen it. I wanted. To
I had
watch
just
it.
seen it. Great film. But then instead we watched Minority Report.
Also,
which
great movie.
really, I grew up on that movie, and it grossed me out and scared me a lot as a kid. But on a rewatch as an adult, I haven't seen it in years. God, I love what it's saying about fascism. I did not pick up on that when I was a kid, but it has a lot to say about like fascist police states and stuff like that, and it's just so well done and a great mystery. Well
Nice.
done, Steven Spielberg. God, people don't give him a shout out enough, but Spielberg's a really talented guy.
I don't know. I feel like there is kind of a contrarian stance on Spielberg.
Well,
where
of
people
course
are
there
like,
is.
Oh, he's overrated.
If you get
I'm
to
like,
his,
shut
if
up,
you get to his
shut up.
level of skill and success, you're gonna have people that are just there to shit on him.
Yeah.
Some people pay for that.
All
privilege.
right. Okay. You
What
paying
else?
to shit on Steven Spielberg?
What else did you see, Alexis?
Let's see here. I rewatched After Sun, and after I rewatched that, it bumped straight into like my top 5
Wow.
Of what? This
movies
year?
of last year. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I still have to watch that.
I really, really like it. It's just so like underdone, you know? Like
Yeah, it's understated.
yeah, like it's really all about like you really got to like pay attention to it to kind of like catch like, you know, like what's going on with like the characters. So I think it's like a really good character study. Anyways, yeah.
Nice.
So
That's great.
I would 100% tell everybody to fucking go watch that because Paul Mescal, he's a sad boy.
Well, and we love them here.
We love them here.
Again.
There's at least 3 of them at this table.
I rewatched The Harder They Fall with my family.
Oh, that's a fun
We had,
one.
we had a
I
good
love that.
time.
Good one.
Let's see here. I didn't make my way all the way through White Noise.
The halfway point's tough, right?
It is really tough.
well, it
I had
is.
just I turned it off and then I put on After Sun instead. I also went to go see When You Finish Saving the World, which is the Jesse Eisenberg directorial debut that happened last year.
Snooze.
It's just about what I'd expect from him, I guess.
Okay.
Being a
What,
white.
dull and pretentious?
I mean, the main the protagonists are kind of dull and pretentious, but
Boom.
I don't think that you're meant to necessarily fully empathize with where they're coming from. So I was like, okay, you know what? I don't mind that. There were some moments that I was like, yeah, I kind of like this movie, but overall, maybe a 3.
Okay, all right.
Fun.
Mick and I went and saw Brandon Cronenberg's new film, Infinity Pool.
Oh, that's right.
Eh.
Eh.
Yeah, Mia
Let
Goth
down.
is really good in the movie, and
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to be weird about anything that she does in that movie.
And
course.
we disagreed on this, but I really liked Alexander Skarsgård.
He's fine.
I really liked him. I
Okay.
thought he carried the movie. I
Yeah.
thought he did a lot with what little he was given.
Mia Goth leads him around on a leash, and I had no
Yeah.
feelings about that.
Nope, not at all.
Not one.
Okay.
There was no brickage to
Nope.
speak of.
Jacks him off from behind, too. All right. And
He wore a collar to one of the
did,
premiere
yeah.
carpets, and I was like,
I had-
"You look good in that,
I
sir."
had 3 separate people on Instagram send me that clip,
Of course
which
they
people
did.
know what I'm into.
Of course they did.
I love that.
Let me think here. Fuck, what was it? I was gonna say something.
You saw
yeah.
Living.
Okay, wait, no. I canceled my reservation for seeing Infinity Pool as soon as I read your guys, part of your guys' reviews.
That's a fair choice.
Yeah, I was like, am I gonna let this be one of my 3 movies for the week? No.
Yeah, I feel like if Mick and I didn't like Infinity Pool, you're probably unlikely to like it.
Because if one of us didn't like it, but the other one did,
Yeah.
it would have been a gamble. Like, you
Yeah,
maybe should have seen
yeah.
it, but both of us.
we are the target audience for that movie.
Yeah, I figured, which was why I was like, if they don't like it, and then I looked at other people's reviews, I was like, no, thank you.
It's not
said-
terrible,
Yeah,
but
you said After Sun is understated. I would say Infinity Pool is like half baked.
yes.
That's how I
Okay.
put that.
Yeah. If you want to watch a Brandon Cronenberg movie, go ahead and check out Possessor, which
yeah,
is
that's
very
a really good movie.
starring now Academy Award nominee Angela Riseborough.
Yeah, which is a weird controversy going on behind her nomination.
Yeah.
Andrea Riseborough. She was
She's
in
the
Mandy.
movie-
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's in a movie that barely anyone has seen called To Leslie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her nomination kind of got pushed through by a lot of
I think Mark
famous
Maron
people.
is in that.
Oh, interesting.
I think so.
Wow.
It actually kind of makes me want to
No,
watch
I want to
it.
watch it. I really like Angela Riseborough. I'm sure she's good in the movie.
Oh, yeah, she's great.
So, yeah. But also, last night, Mick and I watched The Man from U.N.C.L.E. again.
Yeah, I'm glad we're talking about this.
Guy Ritchie!
Oh my god! So I watched this for the first time, I think on a Redbox rental years ago, and I didn't care for it. I did not like it. I was disappointed. And then I watched it last night with Zach, Enrique. We had some friends over, and maybe it was the party setting that was kind of fun because it was. But
It's
man,
a good fucking movie.
so someone who was that asked me what's a movie that you went from not liking to liking?
Jared.
That was Jared.
That was
Jared, if you're
you
still
fucking
listening, I
freak
have a
show.
new answer. I have a new answer for you, Jared. It is The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I have done a complete 180 on that. So good.
Yeah,
I had
it
such a
rules.
good time with it.
Alexis, I really think you would like it.
No, you really
yeah,
would.
I got invited to come over, and then I just ended up staying in last night.
You said,
Yeah.
I'm sleepy.
Yeah, you said I'm going to nap on the couch. That's what Enrique told us.
Oh, I woke up from a nap on the couch and realized I wasn't going anywhere.
Oh, yeah. That sounds fun.
I do think that it would be a movie that would appeal to you, though.
Yeah.
It's got
I read some
great
of the
period
reviews,
costumes.
so I think I
Yeah,
could.
Alexis,
yeah.
the period hair is on point.
Exceptional.
Okay.
And the
Yeah.
script is really good, and it's
Yeah.
got 1960s fashion, 1960s cars, that's one
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah, of
1960s
course.
boats, 1960s
Well, that's also more for you.
espionage.
That's
It's
also
great.
more for you.
It's and I put in my review, it's my favorite Henry Cavill performance behind his Mission Impossible Fallout performance.
I think I like him more in this.
I
He's given more to do.
like
think.
his mustache.
The mustache
works for me. But ironically, he's playing 2 CIA agents in both of those movies. Maybe that's just his calling card. He's a CIA agent.
Maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
I heard there was some hot energy between the two of them. So
well, Armie Hammer gets a little hungry around him, but
what? Oh, gross, nasty.
Yeah,
you're nasty.
I ate his liver with a nice candy.
But
for those of you listening to this on your headphones, you're welcome.
They should recast Armie Hammer and make a sequel.
They should. Well, they were going to do a sequel, right? And
I heard that they were like finally kind of getting the ball rolling on that.
I was talking to someone on set about that, and we all kind of agreed, like, we'd be okay with a sequel if they just recast Armie Hammer.
Get rid of him.
Get rid of him. We don't need, because you know what? I'm going to say it. He's the weakest part of the movie. Like, cannibalism be damned.
I do think he's good in the movie.
I don't know.
I hate to stand up for a cannibal, but
no, you don't. You love it. Be honest.
I mean, you've also.
I hate to stand up for a man who is a sexual predator and a cannibal.
Oh, sure.
That's unacceptable. Mm-hmm. If you're just eating people, we can talk, but come on.
Yeah.
So should we bleep? Should we bleep all of that? Oh, man.
You know, my fate is in my hands.
Good Lord.
Like, where do we go from here?
You can only go up from here.
Okay, wait.
That's rock bottom.
I can move on to the good nurse. Eddie Redmayne.
How good was that nurse?
Was he a good nurse?
He was a serial killer.
So he's a bad nurse.
Bad nurse.
Bad name, then.
He was a very caring nurse.
Should be called the naughty nurse.
Killed a lot of people. It's just a true story.
Should be called the naughty nurse.
It's a better
title.
title.
On, man.
He's a murderer. He's a naughty guy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, sorry, Alexis, you saw the good nurse.
I saw the good nurse. I think that Eddie Redmayne did a great job in his acting, so I can see why he's been nominated for a few things. Jessica Chastain's in it. My real main takeaway from this is that I've learned that my favorite subgenre of movies is just movies that are about how the system fails us over and over again because they're always protecting their own interests. So like Spotlight, fucking this movie.
We gotta nail these suckers.
Exactly.
So we can show them that no one can get away with this. Not a priest or a cardinal or a friggin' pope.
I think the film majors should have a drinking game. Anytime Zach goes into that monologue, just hammer down a whole bottle of vodka.
I think we should expand it to Zach or Alexis because we both.
We both really.
That's true. It's mostly Zach though. You do it the whole way.
I appreciate that Alexis always. I start the monologue, but I always have.
And then the last sentence she'll lip sync to.
I always have a friend at the end.
Yeah, no, I always wait for the very end of that quote. So I just love saying friggin' Pope.
It's beautiful. We're a friggin' Pope.
Today's words are friggin' Pope.
I watched this movie called My Beautiful Laundrette, which is one of the first movies Daniel Day-Lewis was in, I think.
Did he cobble together a good performance?
I actually think he was probably the best performer in this movie. I would say that some of the acting had some stuff to maybe it could have been better.
Okay.
But I never thought I would find him hot. And I've been proven wrong.
Wow.
And
he
there it is.
Licks someone's neck. He licks his boyfriend's neck and he spits into his
I didn't know it was a queer
champagne
thing. That makes it better.
Yeah, and it's not even super.
It's not soupy.
It shouldn't be soupy.
I hope not. That's not very attractive.
I showered today, nothing soupy.
What?
Old soupy Alexis.
I don't know. How some movies if there is a queer storyline, it's all centered around the tragedy of being fucking queer and just all the things that go along with that, and that's not really necessarily what it's about. So It's just about two guys trying to run a fucking laundromat.
That's hot.
Seems not interesting, but I actually quite liked it.
That's fun.
I watched a pretty solid queer story recently.
Yeah.
Ooh, what is it?
The latest episode of the new TV show, The Last of Us.
Episode 3?
Episode 3.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
And
God
I'm
damn
not
it.
going to say too much about
Please
it.
don't. Please
I never played
don't.
the video game.
I heard it deviates from the game. Episode 3.
It could. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
It's incredibly moving. Nick Offerman is fucking wonderful in it.
Oh.
Very, very sweet, sad portrait of two people falling in love in the apocalypse.
I am so excited for that because that character that Nick Offerman's playing in the game was one of my favorite parts of the game, and the fact that he got cast to play it, really cool. Good casting. Again, if you're not watching The Last of Us, well, yeah, I guess you're not watching The Last of Us. I don't really have any. I'm not going to put you down. We all have lives going on.
Good.
You don't have to watch it because I know Alexis isn't watching it.
I have not been watching it.
Yeah. You know what? Don't watch it.
Be
contrarian.
Got
it. I watched Close or Close, depending on the context of how you use that word in a sentence.
Yeah, I want to see that movie.
It's really good. It was one of those movies. As I'm watching it, I was like, "Is this a 5-star or is it 4.5?" And I went with 4.5. But it is a beautiful story and a beautiful film. As I put in my review, it's so effortlessly beautiful. It's just the colors, the skin tone, the environment of Holland. It's just so beautiful. It's such a great story.
Skin tone?
So everyone just the lighting. It's the soft lighting that they do on people. Everyone just looks so beautiful in the sunlight and everything, and I really, really like it. And again, it's not the story at all that I thought it was going to be. I recommend you go into this movie knowing nothing about it because it threw me for a loop, and I was pretty distraught by the end of it, but in a good way. It was a very powerful film, and I think this is now the second movie that's been nominated for a foreign picture. I think it's more deserving than All Is Quiet on the Western Front.
Okay.
I want
really
Close
want
to
to
win.
see it, so.
You're gonna love it.
Oh, I know.
You're gonna love it.
Reflecting back, I think that I personally, the best movies that I have seen that have been like an exploration of like the relationship between like two people, and then even just like adding the element of like a coming of age story. I feel like the French just do it better.
Well, this is a Dutch film.
Is it
but
Dutch?
I agree with you.
Yeah, don't give the French credit.
But I have so many coming of age movies that I love from the French.
Mais non!
Well, that's a good segue, at least.
Mon Dieu.
What?
Sorry. Continue, please. I want to know if we have anything else, and clearly we do.
I have a few more movies that I
All
watched
right,
this
rattle
week.
them off.
I have
Rattle them
something
off.
else,
I'll be
too.
quiet.
I watched This Place
On the Western
Rules
Front.
by, what is his name, Andrew Callahan?
Oh yeah, who's now accused of sexual assault?
Is he?
Yeah.
Wait, you watched what?
By several women. I meant to bring that up on the podcast after I talked about how I hadn't seen that movie.
Wait, which movie? I missed it.
my
This Place
God.
Rules. It's
haven't heard
the
of
movie. It's the documentary film that goes through 2020, leading up to the Capitol insurrection.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard about it. So who's the rapist?
The filmmaker Andrew Callahan.
Yeah.
Yeah, the production company that made that movie severed ties with him.
Jesus.
Well,
Yeah, sorry.
You know,
sorry, I
I
didn't mean
can
to interrupt,
just
but I felt like I had to say
skate
it.
over that then.
Fair enough. Sorry.
Let's give him a platform.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm like. So I also watched Fantastic Planet, the movie that
I saw that.
that Brad told us to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was that?
You know what? Very interesting.
Okay. Is it animated?
Like, it's animated, but it's like, it's storyboard animation, so it's like it's just frame by frame. So it's like it's not like fluid motion completely, you know, like you can tell that it's like animated from frames, like, whatever.
Cool.
But yeah, really strange.
Is the
But I
music
liked
good?
it. The
hear
music,
the music
is
is
really
really awesome.
good. Yeah,
Okay.
I was shooketh.
I've seen people advertise for that they're playing that in theaters sometimes. Is that worth going to a theater? You think?
I think so. Seeing it on the big screen. I mean, like for me, I watch everything on my projector at home, so I
you
see
have
everything
so
on a
cool.
relatively
You have your
large,
So
own
cool.
a
private
relatively
movie
large
theater.
screen.
That rules.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Yeah,
We need to do more movie nights at your place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm inviting myself over.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. I-
Just ignore the smell because her neighbor cooks fish all the time.
That's
okay.
not true.
I'm a
It's not
sneaky
all
man.
the
I'm
time
only-
because
And broccoli,
if she
right?
had, like, I would have.
Killed her.
I can't say that on the podcast.
But can I?
All right.
We can't incriminate you.
Okay, one last thing. Today, I rewatched The Banshees of Inisherin, and then I watched the movie Living, which Bill Nye's.
Up for best actor in a leading role for.
Yeah,
What'd you think?
I actually, I gave it like a 4, but like I really liked the movie. It's just that it was so slow in parts that I felt like it was middling a little bit, but in general, like, I like the overall kind of message or whatever. And Bill Nye actually sings really well.
He
Like,
sings in the movie?
He does. He sings this
Oh wait,
Scottish.
he sang in Love Actually. I know. He
yeah,
can
but
sing.
yeah, but
Love is all around
Yeah, but-
you.
All right.
it's different when you like hear how he sings here
Because
because
he's actually
like
trying to be good.
no,
Is he trying to be bad?
I mean he's. God, Jesus, shut up!
You're a fucking problem, buddy.
I love
Jesus
it.
Christ!
You're a little stinker, aren't you?
I like it when you wink at me after calling me a stinker. Alexis,
Anyways.
keep going.
So,
So his bad singing. Go on.
So it's not bad singing. He's very drunk when he sings his song, but he sings it. It definitely seems emotional for him. It is a Scottish song called "The Rowan Tree." I listened to a few different versions of this song on the way over here. I love fucking like folk songs from like Ireland and like Scotland. They're so pretty. Like just. I mean, with music underneath it, yeah, but just like even just with like piano accompaniment.
That is another reason why you need to watch Brooklyn. Because it
Yeah.
has one of those
okay.
in it.
Okay.
Yeah. So beautiful.
Yeah. So, but I thought it was like a good kind of pairing. I didn't mean for this to happen, but it was a good pairing with Banshees because it's kind of like, is it better to be remembered or is it better to be nice? I think that can kind of tie into living a little bit because it's kind of like, you know, living your life through all the drudgery and the monotony of, you know, fucking working for a living and trying to find life within living.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might check it out.
Yeah.
And it's in like I think it's 4:3.
Ooh, neat.
Yeah, it looks like an older movie than it is. So,
I'm into that.
yeah. And this time when I watched Banshees, I was like, holy fuck, these landscapes are fucking beautiful. What
They're
the fuck?
fabulous.
Gorgeous movie.
And
Yeah.
you know what? I'm not necessarily like on your side, but like is it Condon?
Carrie Condon.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
She's
oh my
wonderful.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to badmouth Jamie Lee Curtis, but she's kind of the only nominee where I'm like, I would be a little bummed if she got it.
Yeah.
Because
I don't
Well-
think she
everyone
necessarily
else
like.
is good.
It's-
I mean,
Yeah.
not that she's bad.
No, she's great
It's
in the
just
fucking
that
role.
Her role is less sort of significant to the film
That's true.
and less
Yeah.
layered.
You know, it's funny you say that because I went to the theater and rewatched Everything Everywhere All at Once on the
There we
big
go.
screen.
Okay.
And her performance really does stand out as being amazing.
Yeah.
But she, Stephanie Sue?
Stephanie Sue.
Stephanie
Yeah.
Sue.
Stephanie Sue.
Yeah.
She, I think, really is more deserving of it because I think her performance is, as you said, her character is more vital. But she just gives such a good performance. But Jamie Lee Curtis is hilarious and genuinely scary.
Full fucking commitment to that
love,
role.
I love her
Frightening.
look. Yeah.
When she comes up and
The
she like has this
physicality that
unibrow
she
and
has.
she walks over with her gut sticking out. Like, good
Okay.
God, run for your life.
Well, you know, okay, I wouldn't be that mad if
Jamie Lee Curtis won.
I mean,
That's the thing.
I fucking love Jamie Lee
I
Curtis.
think this year, like even looking at like a bunch of the things, the more things that I see, the more I'm like, damn, who would I even choose?
good ass year for
Yeah,
movies.
no, this was a good ass year for movies, unquote. But yeah, no, what was great watching this movie was thinking, like, especially during the butt plug karate fight, that, oh my God, this has more Academy nominations than any other movie this year, and I kind of love that.
I know, yeah.
So great.
My only note about that scene is they should have uncensored
Yes, I agree.
uncensor the ass
In the theater-
Show that butt plug go in.
Yeah, I for my own personal reasons,
I'm on the record.
I agree. But honestly, like, I'm watching that on the big screen, I'm like, why? It seems weird that they're censoring this. In
I
a
feel like
theater.
they probably
It would get an
had-
X rating.
Yeah, they probably had some note from the MPAA where they're like, you can't show that go into a butthole, and I'm like, boo,
Maybe
cowards.
you could
You
say,
get away with it in France,
which they're so good with their love stories, right, Alexis?
and they're so good with their butt play.
That's true. Well, I don't know. I don't know.
I can
I
think
gotta
of-
give that to Holland. Have you
can definitely think of-
Have you been to Amsterdam?
I haven't. I'd love to go.
Oh, it's fantastic.
All right. Maybe I'll show you some of Amsterdam tonight.
I also rewatched Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, really?
I did.
That's
yeah,
great.
Yeah. was fun.
What did you think on a rewatch?
You know what? I felt very vindicated that it was my number 2 movie of the year. So.
Right on.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up because I spoke to you separately. I was like, what I want to feel going into it is I want to feel regret that it didn't make my top 10. And I think I feel it. I think I feel that it should be in my top 10. I just don't know where the fuck I'd put it. That's the problem.
Go to S year for movies.
I
Yeah.
have like moved my list around so much. Have you guys been moving your list around?
It's
Nope.
been shifting and
I
like
tend
crazy over here.
to cut myself off at a certain point.
You're right. We don't really care, do we? Let's move on.
I think I've just like seen too many new. Well, I've rewatched a few key ones. Like Banshee shot up after I rewatched it.
Same
that
for me.
score
Same for me.
is so pretty, and I think it's
Yeah.
like, is it? Did they say it was like Bulgarian choir that is singing in parts of it? Because it's not on the actual score like that you can get on like Spotify, but there is choral singing in the movie.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's doing that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's fucking pretty.
I have one other little piece of what's going on before we get out of this.
Okay.
Excellent.
Guys, we've made it.
To what?
Getting emailed to become part of podcasting crypto scams.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, we got some like
What does that even mean?
form email from someone trying to get us to move our podcast to this app called Wisdom, and it's their whole spiel
Oh,
about
I
this
love
app.
Wisdom.
And then at the bottom of it, it says, P.S. By joining Wisdom as a top badge, you'll also get 500 Wisdom coin, our creator currency.
Wait, hold on. We have a chance of getting Wisdom coin.
And
Is
I'm
that
shooting
a
it down.
cryptocurrency?
Yes.
Oh my, Alexis!
What?
Don't give me that look. You know you want some Wisdom coin.
I have not, nor will I ever be interested in cryptocurrency.
Yeah, so I'd like to say Sarah Havoc, if you're a real person, which I highly doubt, go
Wait.
fuck yourself.
Wait, do you know a Sarah Havoc, Alexis?
I don't know a Sarah Havoc, but I have a note before we hop out of what's going on.
What's your note?
My mom listens to our podcast now.
Hey.
Yeah,
Hi,
actually,
Dolores.
How you
know
doing,
what?
Dolores?
One of my favorite things was writing down because we were in the car and basically instead of, she doesn't really love my music, so instead of listening to my music, we played like 7 episodes of the fucking podcast.
Oh, good God. My condolences, Alexis.
You know, it is strange every time I hear me talk about my mother while my mother is sitting right
What
next
was that like? Let's dive into that because I'm
Yeah.
actually curious.
Dolores, write into us. Tell us what that was like
email
for
us.
you. filmmagerspod@gmail.com.
Find us on TikTok.
You know, it was fine.
We got through
honestly-
it.
That's it? It was fine? Give us more. Don't bury the lead.
She really likes it. I don't know. She's been trying to get like my entire
love
family
that.
to
Oh,
to
really?
listen to the podcast.
I
She's
love
like
that.
been like, Jackie, you need to download. What is it called again, Alexis? Spotify.
Oh. My face isn't red because I'm sunburned. It's red because I'm blushing. That's really awesome.
That's delightful. Dolores, we're so happy
That's
you're
a delightful
listening.
Dolores.
Yeah.
It is a
love
delightful
that.
I'm
Dolores.
so sad I'm the one person here who hasn't met you.
Oh God.
Oh, it'll happen.
You know what? I'm trying to find my notes, but because I was taking notes of like what made her like laugh the most, and one of them was when Zach insisted that that they should have ended "It's a Wonderful Life" with shoving Potter off of the bridge.
Oh my God. Really?
She laughed so hard at
They
that.
fucking should have fucking push his old bitch ass off the bridge.
Damn.
It was so funny. Yeah.
That's
Wonderful.
great. Anything else, Zach? I have one more thing.
I
very
think we
quick.
should
Oh.
get out. So, okay, you
She
two
also-
do your things.
She also laughed at when you said women talking. I can't watch women talking if you women
yeah.
are talking.
Yeah, that's a
Women
good
need
one.
to shut the fuck up.
Honestly.
And then she even laughed at this is the 2 garden tools that you don't want to see together is a hoe
She
with a
laughed at
pitchfork.
that?
Because she was like, did he? And then she's like, and I was like, yeah. And she just started laughing so
Oh,
hard.
man.
That's delightful.
Dang. My confidence, my self-esteem just shot up. with
I
that
feel
one.
so good now.
Wow.
I'm on cloud 9.
Damn. I'm in Cloud Atlas, and I still haven't even seen that movie.
Good movie.
Speaking of Hugh Grant, I met Academy Award nominated Roger Deakins.
Fuck yeah, you did.
Yeah, I went to his book signing, which that's all thanks to you, Alexis. You sent me that link.
I did send you the link.
I thank you for that because that was really
when
wonderful.
I checked the link, it was too expensive for the fact that I do not love Roger Deakins as much as you.
Yeah.
So I
that's
was
fair.
like, send this to Mick.
Yeah, no, that was great. It was a really good
Didn't send me
time.
the link. Didn't send it to me.
I don't know if you like him as much as I do,
Probably not.
which was great. Before
Fucking freak.
It was like $100.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was-
no,
it
no,
was-
okay,
no,
no,
it
you
wasn't.
sent it to the right.
What?
Wait, what?
it
How
was
much
not
was
that. It was like $50.
Oh, it was 50.
Yeah, no, okay, still.
See, I don't like Roger Deakins enough to spend 50 to like.
Not in
But
my current
before-
financial situation.
Yeah, that's fair. Before I met him, though, I watched for the first time the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
Ooh, that's a good movie.
wow.
Yeah.
Really good.
I've got to rewatch that.
Really good. And so, man, I was like, because, he's done so many beautiful films, but I can see why this is considered perhaps his magnum opus. It is just so gorgeous. The train robbery sequence is insane. It kind of beggars belief how he shot that. And it's amazing that he popped that out the same year as No Country for Old Men. That's a 2007 movie.
Oh my
The
God.
same year as There Will Be Blood.
2007 had some fucking banger westerns.
Incredible. Absolutely
And
incredible.
None of those are the best movie of 2007 because that's Zodiac.
That's Transformers.
No,
the first Transformers
boy.
came out in 2007. But no, I did not watch Empire of Light because I just didn't. I don't really
Yeah,
give a
you're
shit.
fine. It's not very
I
good.
didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything to ask him, so I just asked him if I could get parking validated somewhere.
Nice.
It didn't work well.
Okay.
Nice guy.
Well, I think that we should get out of what's going on.
Okay.
What is our topic for the week?
I'll tell you because we came up with it minutes
before we started recording.
Great.
Our favorite on-screen couples. And I can fire one out of the gate right away.
Please
Sure.
do, because I still don't have an answer.
I want to talk about Rick Moranis and Ellen Green as Seymour and Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors. Because
Suddenly Seymour.
you should genuinely...
Whatever, Mick.
Shrivel.
Mick, I think that of musicals you actually
Yeah,
might
you would
enjoy.
actually-
No, I love that movie. Absolutely.
Oh, you do?
Have you seen it?
I just hate it when you guys do that.
All right. Well,
That makes
Whatever.
one
Like
of us.
it's not.
Up top, buddy.
Hey.
Shrivel.
Theater kids got to stick together, you know.
I'm a theater kid.
Yeah.
It's a musical thing that you
you're
guys got
just,
going.
you're just embarrassed.
Okay, well, let me.
I started off in theater. You forget that.
Redoing this to musical theater kids.
Ugh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
even
honestly,
as a young
I-
kid,
I
was
was
like, I
a
can't
theater
stand
kid,
them.
but at heart, I was always a musical theater
There
kid.
was always that musical theater kid that would just listen to musical theater on their iPod. Like,
Yeah.
who does that?
I don't know. I feel like
I have softened.
You-
if
The
you talk
audacity.
to anyone who was in theater with me,
Yeah.
they would be like, "Oh, Zach does not like musicals," and I have come
Yeah.
around to musicals in the years since, and I think a lot of that has to do with watching more movie musicals and just
Interesting.
being startled by like the intricacy
Yeah,
and craft on display of the good ones.
Again, I maintain that the only musicals that work for me are comedies. Like, I enjoy...
Little Shop of Horrors.
Okay, there you go. That's why I like it. I like Blazing Saddles. I like Young
The
Frankenstein.
producers.
I love the producers. And it's because they don't take themselves seriously. Because how do you take a musical seriously? You can't.
We'll show you.
If it's a comedy, it works.
Yeah, no, you'll see Cabaret.
I have one of the unhappiest faces right now.
I can tell. I can see it.
And you're right. And you're right to have that.
We love a hot take on
Yeah,
this show.
I don't know. I think that Rick Moranis and Ellen Green have really wonderful chemistry in that movie. I think that you should watch essentially the director's cut if you're going to watch the movie.
Where they don't do the end.
Where they don't end up happy together
Yeah.
because the scene where spoilers if you haven't seen the play Little Shop of Horrors, the scene where Audrey dies after getting chomped by the plant
Yeah.
is like genuinely one of the most brutal scenes I have ever seen that also features a giant animatronic Venus flytrap.
I wonder which
there's a lot of
version
those.
I've
There's
seen.
a lot.
I don't know if I've ever
That doesn't narrow it down, buddy.
You should check out my I have the Blu-ray of it now.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
It
I
has the original ending.
love the opening song, Downtown. It's so good.
So you go downtown when your life's a mess. You go downtown when you're in the
Sorry.
I enjoyed that better, actually. That was a better one.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
Well, the actress who plays Audrey
Ellen
is,
Green.
Yeah, the voice is very
She is doing an affected
yeah.
voice, and she can still fucking belt like
yeah.
nobody's business.
Good God.
Yeah. Honestly, I want to talk about that movie. I might talk about
I
that
would
in
be
October.
I would be down to review that. I would like
Yeah,
that.
that might be my non-horror movie pick for October because it's still, influenced by 50s B-movie sci-fi.
Hell yeah.
Oh, God, I want to dive deep into that genre.
I mean,
I'm
like,
so
the
excited.
poverty situation is kind of horrific.
poor. All my life I've always been poor. I keep asking God what I'm for. And he tells me, gee, I'm not sure. Sweep that floor, boy.
Okay, so that's a pick for a couple. Any of you guys like any? Mick is dissociating.
No, I am dissociating. I'm just trying to think of what my answer is.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna go with a curveball answer here that I might on a re-listen not agree with myself.
Go for it.
Sherlock Holmes and Watson.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. and Zach, help me out for the love of God.
Jude Law?
Jude Law. Thank you. Wow. I am tired.
You're a piece of shit.
Well,
you're a fucking bad guy.
And I'm tired. It's not mutually exclusive. Every time I watch those movies, speaking of Guy Ritchie, love them. That is such a great on-screen chemistry. I know they're not like technically together, but let's be honest, guys. In the sequel, where they're wrestling in the train car, and Jude Law rips apart Robert Downey Jr.'s shirt. There's a moment
playing up the queer
they're
subtext.
they're playing it up, and there's a moment where they look at each other where they're like, "Okay, are we fighting, or do we make out?" Like, that's a moment that they're sharing in a split second, and I love that that's in that film. I don't know. Every time they're together, they just have great chemistry, and this is probably a better answer for buddy movies, but I consider them a couple. The homoeroticism of it, it's great. The subtext is beautiful. That's my answer. Jude Law and Robert Downey Jr. What about you, Alexis?
I can't even, you would think, I don't know.
See, I wanted to say Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock in Speed, but they're not really a couple in that movie, and we've already talked about that on the pod.
I mean,
like Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss, quite honestly. Specifically,
Matrix?
Specifically in the Matrix Resurrections, the most recent Matrix movie.
Yeah.
I mean, those movies,
Like many of the Wachowski sisters movies, are all about the power of love. The Matrix movies are just, coated in a sheen of, people wearing leather and shooting guns.
Right.
But that fourth movie really plays into, the sincere, earnest emotion of that relationship, and I think it's really sweet. So that's a great on-screen couple for me.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. Alexis?
I mean, I guess Jack and Rose from Titanic. But I mean, is that because I've
Yeah.
always wanted to date a lesbian that looks like Leonardo DiCaprio, or is that because I love Kate Winslet?
No, it's the first one. It's the former.
I feel like
is that Madeline?
I feel like that's kind of Madeline.
No.
I just think her hair.
I think they have
She
similar
does have
hair.
DiCaprio
I don't know.
hair.
I was
Yeah.
trying to place it, and I feel like she does have DiCaprio and Titanic.
I think Madeline has a better southern drawl
Probably.
than DiCaprio does.
Yeah. Fuck you,
man.
DiCaprio.
I can't even really. I've seen so many fucking.
It all blends together.
It all blends. Ooh, Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler.
Oh, yeah.
in The Wedding Singer.
The Wedding Singer. That's a great answer.
I love that movie.
I love that movie.
that's a great
Okay,
one.
wait. I have trivia about that movie.
Please.
Okay, so I think Mick, I already told you this one, but
I probably forgot. Go for it.
Great. So Adam Sandler wrote the song right at the end. I Want to Grow Old with You.
Yeah.
And he had asked her one day, "Oh, I want to play it for you. So you tell me what you think." She's like, "No. Play it for me, when we're on set, so that my reaction to the first take is like the genuine reaction. And so that's what's in the movie. Is her first, and she actually like started crying, like literally just being so happy about like the song that he had made. And so I was like, that is like, you guys are the cutest fucking thing ever. They have great chemistry.
I love it.
Yeah, that 50 First Dates, even blended, is like okay.
I love 50
know?
I still haven't seen 50 First Dates.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a great
Oh,
one.
wow.
That is actually
I
genuinely
really like
good.
I've seen many worse Sandler movies than that, yet I still haven't
It's one of
seen
his
that.
best.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that I've watched a lot of terrible Adam Sandler
Can feel my
movies, so
muscles.
have I not,
Can
how have I not seen that?
Was it Sean Astin? Is that his name? All juiced up. and on
Sean
steroids,
Astin?
Right, from Lord of the Rings.
He's in that?
Yeah, he plays Drew Barrymore's brother, and he like is legit ripped, and he wears a mesh tank top throughout most of it. I'm amazed you haven't seen this.
I'm gonna now.
That's amazing. Then you have Dan Aykroyd. He's in it for a scene. So that's fun. That's great answer, Alexis.
Thank you.
Anything else that we have before we move on? To
I feel like we could get into our film.
And really, we'll get into what my actual favorite on-screen couple is.
I mean, mine
Let's
too.
be honest.
Mine too.
Yeah, is there
And
a better
that
one?
would be Billy
Billy
Crystal and Meg Ryan
in When Harry Met Sally.
Are we gonna kiss right now?
I think we should.
All right.
Let's fondle each other's feet under the table instead.
All right.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it right now.
Doing it right now.
We actually are.
It's a 1989 film directed by Rob Reiner, written
Oh,
by
so good.
Nora Ephron, and starring Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, as well as Carrie Fisher.
Yep.
Wow.
Mick,
It's how we got Randy Quaid, right? No.
No.
I don't think so.
No, because
what?
Don't.
You can just say anything,
Look.
can't you?
Look. I see where you're going, and I don't recommend it. Okay.
All right.
Let's just
Okay.
leave it at that.
So, Mick, I feel like you have kind of the longest
Yes.
running relationship
If
with
I
this
may,
movie.
I championed this film to be this month. I grew up on this movie. I saw it so many times. I think we all had those movies that our parents just had playing constantly, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
When Harry Met Sally was one of those films for me. And I'm so sorry. I'm trying to pull it up. Can I read the synopsis really quick?
Please.
Okay, so in 1977, college graduates Harry Burns, played by Billy Crystal, and Sally Albright, played by Meg Ryan, share a contentious car ride from Chicago to New York, during which they argue about whether men and women can ever truly be strictly platonic friends. 10 years later, Harry and Sally meet again at a bookstore, and in the company of their respective best friends, Jesse, played by Bruno Kirby, and Marie, played by Carrie Fisher, who we love, attempt to stay friends without sex becoming an issue between them. That was really long.
That's an insanely long
I blacked out in the
synopsis.
middle of that.
An
So did I. I was
insanely-
reading it.
That's
I
a-
blacked out because you're... Never mind.
Alexis
Passed
burped.
out. Yeah, she burped and I almost died.
That's an
not
insanely...
true.
Fermented shallots.
Jesus Christ, buddy. Alexis is getting up to leave.
I can see that.
That is an insanely long synopsis for
It
an
is.
insanely simple film.
It is such a simple film.
It's
beautiful.
literally the most classic, like, will they, won't they
Yeah.
relationship told in a, like, straightforward chronological narrative.
Yeah.
There are no frills.
No.
They're not, like, you know, exceptional people. Like, they're not anything other than, like, ordinary people with charming personalities.
Yeah.
Like, it is the most bare bones rom-com
Yeah.
that I can think of, and it is the best.
Yeah, what I love about it is how it takes place over really a little over 12 years. It's a very long story, and yet it completely it does not drag at all.
It gets done in 96 minutes.
It's amazing, yeah. And something that I maintain is, you know, I watched this movie as a kid, and I really aspired to be like Billy Crystal.
That's not good.
I find his level of humor to just be so great. I find him so charming, and even now that I'm older, I find his fashion wonderful. I want to dress like him.
fashion is wonderful.
It's fantastic. And the thing is as now I am an adult, I've gotten into adult dating and the whole thing of being out there, as Carrie Fisher says in this film. This movie, as I get older, gets even better because I realize just how much this movie, just how much Nora Ephron gets right. And it's just great. It gets better the more you watch it.
Alexis, what's your relationship with this film?
This movie, okay, so starting from the beginning, my dad has always been very into romance movies and romantic comedies. He owns probably every romantic comedy that you can really truly think of off the top of your head and then some, and every single Nicholas Sparks movie for sure. He's probably seen all of them at least like 3 to 10 times.
I'm so
He's
fascinated.
such a king.
The fact that I haven't met your I feel like I'm in the position of a listener whenever you talk about your parents because I'm so intrigued.
I also am intrigued. Sometimes they don't quite compute, like who they are and then like their taste in things sometimes. But it is quite fun. Like when
That's like my dad with the Pitch Perfect movies. He loves those things, and I'm like, really, that?
Really?
I'm kind of with him on that.
Yeah,
I kind of love
weird?
them.
Wow.
As my friend Jake once said, acapella is sports for people with no physical prowess.
I
I
stand
could
by
see
that.
that.
no,
I think I'm there. I'm there.
I second
apologies
that.
to two of my good friends who were in the University of Oregon women's acapella group.
But they're not athletes, right?
No, but both of them could probably beat me up.
Well,
I don't know if
come
that
on.
says much about
Yeah,
that.
I don't.
No.
I'm not sure if that's the rating system we want to
Yeah,
put
no,
forward.
I'm
God, we're
I'm
willing to use
emotionally
anything
frail.
but the metric system here, aren't we?
Sorry, Alexis, please
Two
continue.
acapella members could beat me up.
I always knew that like my dad liked this movie, and so I wanted to see this before I left town. My mom was here for a week, and then I went home for a couple days. I wanted to watch this with my dad, and then my sister Natalie ended up joining us. And we get there, and he's like, "So we're gonna watch the movie?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, you have it?" And I was like, "Dad, you have the movie. I know you do." And he's like, "Yeah, well, I couldn't quite find it because this man has no organization system for
Not
the
like Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
like 300
Who hasn't-
probably movies that he has. He has no organization system. So I'm just like scanning the lists of like shit for this fucking movie. Anyways, I watched this for the first time last November and I really loved it.
Oh,
That's right.
Yeah.
I showed it to you.
Yeah.
I finally, because I've been telling her about this for years.
Yeah, it was always something that like my dad, like he's always mentioned like, oh, that's a good movie. Like, cause he thinks that Meg Ryan is like, well, Meg Ryan's like one of his like girls, like his romantic comedy girls. Like he even like said,
Because we all have those, and Meg Ryan is his.
well, it's like
Makes sense.
Sandra Bullock, Julia Roberts.
He has
This
great
is
taste.
a man
Meg
of
Ryan.
the 90s.
Wow. He's a man. He's
This is a
no, he
goddamn
isn't.
man.
No, he isn't. He's a timeless man. These are
He's
timeless,
timeless,
answers.
yes. But yeah, no, he was even trying to say.
How does he feel about Lauren Bacall?
Yeah, what are his feelings on Donna Reed?
My dad is not really like an old school movie. He's like very much like into the 80s,
He's a
basically
man
like
of the 90s, like I said.
the late,
He's a timeless man.
probably like the late 70s to like the mid 2000s or early 2010s. Those are like that's his fucking realm. He's seen like every action comedy, romance comedy. This man gets around.
I've always said that about
Not
your
touching that
dad.
one.
I've always said that about your father.
Yeah.
You're the only one who's not touching that one.
I'm going to leave it that way.
He could do quite a lot from never leaving his house, basically.
Yeah.
So,
Flexible
yeah.
old fuck.
No, me and my sister and my dad, we all watched this, and we had such a good time.
Had Natalie seen it before?
They've all seen it before.
Yeah, so that's my question is how is it that I showed it to you? If this was like brought up in the household, like how your dad never
I
showed
think
this to you?
because it's not like an overtly romantic in the way that my dad likes things to be like overtly romantic and kind of passionate. Like
I
for
don't
some
follow
reason,
that. What does that mean? Because I think this is very romantic.
Yeah, I think it's very romantic, but like I'm talking about like
You mean not
Titanic.
like cheesy? It's not cheesy?
Yeah.
Oh,
It doesn't
okay.
have the schmaltz factor.
Yeah, it's not schmaltzy. It's not schmeary.
I mean, I don't think that Titanic is cheesy.
I haven't
so-
seen Titanic.
I
so
think it
can't
is
speak
cheesy,
on
but
it.
it's good cheese. I love
We'll-
good cheese.
We'll all get together and watch it this month.
I want to
assume,
see it in theaters. We
Yeah.
should see it in theaters together.
I gotta
Let's
go.
watch that ship go down.
All right.
Dead air.
So, I'd like to talk about. Well, first and foremost, I'd like to talk about how I cannot believe that after Harry discovers that Sally has all her videotapes alphabetized and on index cards.
Yeah.
He does not propose on the spot.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
sexy.
that is probably the cool. As now I am a major movie nerd as an adult. That bit totally. I'm like, oh my god, Meg Ryan, you are the dream girl. My god,
Dude, that was like, I feel that because looking for the movie in my dad's collection and being
Yeah.
all over the place, I was just like, I just desperately want to organize this.
you need to alphabetize these and put these on index cards. Come on, Zach.
God, should we make index cards for our shelf?
I already
we
have
them.
I have a list on Google Docs of everything on here.
About to make you my wife.
I already am.
I love that. I've been meaning to do that with my movies too, so that
Yeah.
when
I
I
thought
go
you were gonna
out,
say you've been
It
needing
even
to make
I even
Mick
have
your
a
wife.
I even have a drop down menu.
definitely not.
makes one of us.
No, if we were together,
Hey man, take
if,
that shit.
If Alexis and I were together, I'd be the wife. Let's be real. Come on.
That's true.
Yeah, Big
Yeah.
Daddy Alexis.
Big
I
Daddy-
even in
Big
my
Papa
list.
Avithia.
I even have drop
always
down
said that.
things for like, is it a 1080p film? Is it a
Yeah.
4K film? Is it a box set? Is it a steelbook? Is it a Criterion? Yeah,
I think this is
on.
very much touching somewhere inside of Zach, very
I know.
deep.
I know. You love this, don't you?
Yeah.
You've
See,
never looked more alluring to me.
He's glowing.
It had
Had
to be you.
Good God.
It had to be you.
Don't make me share this moment.
I wandered around.
Okay, this movie made
Yeah,
me
follow
laugh.
that up,
This movie
Alexis.
made me genuinely laugh like so many times.
It's so funny.
It's genuinely
so
funny.
Okay.
It puts the com in rom-com.
The first time when he's like chewing on the grapes and then he just spits to the
Yeah.
side and he's all window wasn't open. He
Yeah,
just says
I'll
it wasn't
open it.
Yeah, which you've done that, Alexis, with weed smoke.
Yeah, I
You
like,
tried blowing it out a window, and it was like,
Like-
it kept billowing in, and she was like, "Oh yeah, then I should open the window." You are Billy Crystal.
I thought the same thing when I was watching this. I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
I made a note that the grape spitting is like an immediately effective way to make Harry seem unappealing and put you in Sally's perspective.
Yeah.
yes,
like,
absolutely.
Just already the munching on the grapes, you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, what an obnoxious dude. And then the added indignity of him spitting on the window.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
what a fucking schmuck. Also, least believable college student ever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I believe he was 39 at the time of
They
filming.
were like, if we
I'm-
cover your receding hairline, we just comb it forward. I think we'll shave a few years off. And I'm
And
like,
sideburns.
maybe not
And you know
enough
what?
to play a college student, but
I'm
okay.
going to be the odd man out. I'm going to counter that. I think their hair and outfits throughout the years and multiple scenes really works for me.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They look like they
Yeah.
look young in the beginning, and they look close to being middle aged by the end of it.
Well, yeah, because
I
they-
think it's really well done.
Like I think because of the hair. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think he does look younger. I just,
You don't buy him as a college student?
in terms of a recent college graduate, God, I hope not.
I don't know. It works
What do you
for
mean
me.
you don't know?
It works for me. As someone who has graduated college, I watch that and it doesn't bug me. But then again, I've seen this my whole life, so maybe I'm biased.
I don't know. I graduated college when I was 22, so maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, I graduated when I was later.
Yeah.
How old was I? 25?
You were an older statesman.
I was an elder statesman.
Oh,
Yes.
you're an elder
No,
statesman.
That's how you say it, buddy.
Yeah.
That's correct. I love it.
The couple in the very beginning, I don't remember what they said, but they said something like, "Oh, we've been married for 55 years." And my sister's immediate response was, "She deserves a trophy." And my dad's and then my dad's response was, "You're telling me some of them are hard to live with."
Wow.
And I was like, that's a bold
Hot takes. Get your hot
That's a
takes
bold
here.
thing to say,
Wow.
Hector.
Yeah, the hot takes are a
The hot
apparently
cakes,
they're
hot
an
takes.
inherited trait.
Consider-
Yeah,
he's
they run in the
divorced.
family. Wow. Damn.
Oh, man.
I loved it. It's great. Do you think it was a come on when he said that she was pretty?
Yes.
Yeah.
As a man, absolutely.
Okay.
That is 100% a come on.
Okay.
Also, I feel like we should put a poll
Yes.
both on this
Yes.
episode
Yes.
And on Instagram, do you think
Yeah.
that men and women can be friends without sex getting
Yeah.
in
My
the way?
family says no.
Yeah.
Your family says no?
Yep.
I'm
I'm kind of almost inclined to agree.
kind of with them.
Am I the
Yeah.
odd man out? I
I think men and women can be friends.
Well, yeah,
without
they can
sex
be
Yeah,
friends,
but like
but-
sorry.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, but what they said in the movie was like, oh, it can only be like under like this, and this, you know? There's like a
That's such
way.
a funny scene where he's like, they have to both be involved with someone else.
Yes.
And
That
then
way-
he goes on to...
Wait, hold on. I have the quote written
He goes
in here.
on to explain why actually the amendment to the rule should not be a thing in the first place.
Because I asked my dad and my sister, like, hey, so do you agree? Do you think men and women can't be friends? My sister was like, no, never.
Yeah.
And then she was like, unless they're gay, then that works.
Yes, that's true. But no, yeah, that works. That works for sure. But yeah, the line is, then the person you're going with will accuse you of being sexually attracted to the person you're just friends with. And let's face it, you probably are. I mean, who the hell are we kidding? That is such a good line, and it's so true. Come on,
Yeah, I
folks,
actually-
admit
I
it.
have plenty of women friends who I do not want to sleep with.
And, but yeah, she's like, what about the people that you find unattractive? He's like, yeah, no, you pretty much want to nail them too. Which, again, as a man, sorry, folks, I see no lights.
Oh, man. Well, I have women friends who I do not want to have sex with.
Wow, you deserve a trophy.
Some of them I've already had sex with, but...
Well, there we go. I love that you... Never mind, I'm not going to say it.
I actually just think that maybe I've had enough experience with, like, having friends. Because, like, I think my sister, she's very, very pretty. So I think she's probably just had a lot of, like, male friendships that didn't work out because they ended up, like, being attracted to her. And I don't know, I just feel like I've kind of been in the same boat. Like, I always try to make friends with, like, some nerdy people that I know, and then I'm like, oh, well, that didn't go quite how I thought it would go.
Great.
I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
I don't either.
Well, we're happy to have you.
Yeah, at least you're funny.
That's something.
Yeah, you know, I don't think that I always agreed with this movie. I think when I was younger, I would have made the argument that they could be friends.
Yeah.
But getting closer to 30, no.
That's what I mean. I'm telling
yeah.
you, the older you get, the more you realize this movie's right.
Wow.
They really nailed
Maybe
it.
I just know shitty people, though, because, like, I've known, like, a lot of, like, between me and my sister, we both talked about this, about how it's just like, oh, we've known a lot of people that have been in relationships, and then, like, they still, like, make a pass at you. And so it's just like, oh, now I can't.
Yeah, see, that's gross.
Can't be friends with you anymore.
Yeah. That makes don't make it weird, listeners.
So I'd like to talk about one scene that, as I've gotten older and have been in a long-term relationship, one scene that I found incredibly relatable is the scene right before Harry and Sally have sex for the first time, where Sally calls Harry just, like, distraught.
Yeah.
And Harry goes, "What's wrong?" And she says, "He's getting married," and then Harry is at her place.
Right. Immediately.
And, you know, just sitting there as she vents and cries
Yeah.
and gets all of her feelings out. And, like, the experience of the person that you love calling you in distress.
Yeah.
And just being like, all right, well, I got to get in the car. Let's do this.
Yeah. You don't even think
or,
twice
you know,
about it.
I guess in this movie, I got to get on the subway. But, you know, we're in LA. We don't have public transit. Who am I kidding? Anyways, yeah, I feel like that scene hit home for me on this rewatch because I've been there now.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I don't know. I think that scene's just very sweet. I think Meg Ryan plays that really well with the wiping of the Kleenex on her nose and just throwing them all over her apartment.
I mean, I love how that's written because, you know, Harry asks, okay, if you could take him back right now, would you? And she says, no, but why
didn't he want to marry me?
Exactly. I don't want him, but why didn't he want me? That's what's bugging me. And that's such a real emotion.
Yeah.
That's so real.
I talked to my mom about this. It's like, hey, do I logically know that I shouldn't be upset about something? Absolutely. But can I stop myself from feeling a certain way? No.
No.
Yeah.
I have to process through this in my own time.
Yeah, and I come to think of it, like, I've been on the other side of that too, where, like, someone who I have been with in the past is, like, you know, ended up with someone else, and I'm like, I don't want to be with this person, but, like, this still makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
And I wish
no,
it
for
did,
sure.
but it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
It's such a wonderful, like, real scene.
It's a real wonderful real movie.
Yes.
Just in general. I also this is played for a laugh because it's funny, but I love it where they've broken up essentially. They're not friends anymore, and he keeps calling her and leaving her voicemails again in this beautiful, hilarious montage. And then he's there with Bruno Kirby getting hot dogs, and he's like, you know what? No, I'm done. I'm not going to call her anymore. You know what? If she wants to talk, then she'll talk to me. I'm through making a schmuck out of myself. Immediately smash cut to him. If you're feeling sad and lonely,
Call me.
him making a schmuck out of himself. Call me and I'll be around.
So, can I transition to something?
Sure.
Please.
I'd like to talk about how Nora Ephron as a comedic writer has like such like great instincts and rhythm to both her like the way she sets up scenes and her dialogue. Like the closest comparison I can think of someone who I love is Shane Black. It's just like it's got this like rat-a-tat pacing.
It's crisp.
And she's much like Shane Black is so good at putting distraught characters in the worst possible situation for them and to make them feel or to make their loneliness even more apparent. And the scene that I think exemplifies this the most is
the wedding?
No.
Not the wedding.
The wedding's
The
great. No. After Harry gets divorced. When he is at the football game.
Yes, the Giants game.
I love it.
Yeah,
Him and
everyone's
Bruno
doing the
Kirby
wave.
are doing the wave.
Yeah.
And I made a note
Such a good scene.
The lines that come up before they have to do the wave.
because he's explaining essentially how his wife told him that she wants a divorce. She's moving out, and then he found out that she's been seeing someone else.
Then there's Mr.
No.
Zero.
Yeah, so
No.
here are the lines that come before he has to do the wave. I don't know if I've ever loved you. Stands up and does the wave.
Yeah.
I didn't want talking about how she's known for a week that she's going to divorce him, and he asked why she didn't tell him. I didn't want to ruin your birthday.
Yeah.
Wave. And then Bruno Kirby is like, well, listen, infidelity is not the reason that people break up. It's a symptom. Oh, yeah? Well, that symptom is fucking my wife.
Which
Wave.
is very literal. That symptom literally is another man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking
it's
his wife.
Fucking his wife, yeah.
I mean, the
Ira.
symptom isn't that. I mean,
But in that context, that's
Yeah.
what he means. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, there's a symptom. His name's fucking Ira. He's a bald bastard, and he's fucking my wife.
He looks like
That's
Larry
the
David.
symptom.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
He looks like Frankenstein.
it probably wasn't. I don't think that it was her falling in love with another man that like brought about the end of their marriage.
No, and
That's not what he's saying.
That's
Yeah.
what Bruno Kirby's saying, but I think that it's one of the many lines that's like, it's so funny that it precedes them standing up
It's
to do the
so
wave.
funny. Yeah. And that's such a good story, too, because, I watched this, and, when he's telling that story, I'm glued to the screen, just like Bruno Kirby is.
Yeah.
I'm like, good God, that is a shitty situation to be in.
One of my other favorite things. Wait, did you guys?
No,
want to-
go.
Okay. One of my other favorite things was Meg Ryan. She talks about how she was with some little kid of her friend, right?
Oh,
and then
I
they were
love that
playing
scene.
I Spy in like the taxi cab or something like that. And they I Spy a family, and it makes her like burst out into tears. And I was all, yeah, been there. I mean,
Yeah.
not specifically about family, but just like somebody saying something, and then I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even realize that was something that I actually wanted in my life.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Maybe that's how I felt when I watched a dogfight and they were having this like really sincere and like innocent first love experience, and I just like started crying, and I was like, I thought I was past this. Yeah, so
That reminds me, the moment I knew I was a man was when I got a slice of pizza one day at a park, and I was eating it. And I was like in a good mood.
Yeah.
I look over and I see this dad
Yeah.
with a baby in like that front chest sack thing that you put a baby in, and they're just kind of
Okay.
like in front of you. And I like looked at him and I started crying because I was like, oh my God, that is so sweet that he would do that. Like, I actually started crying. I was like maybe 20 years old, and that's when I knew. I was like, oh God, that's nature calling. That is, I am a man now because that just made me cry. Wow.
There was a time when I was, I think, around 20 where I did mushrooms with a bunch of my friends, and then we all talked about like we could be dads someday. And then we all cried.
Yeah, no, man, it's a real feeling. Yeah.
Shirtless and smeared in mud in the Oregon wilderness. We were like, guys, we're going to know each other when we're dads. And then just wept.
Yeah. I remember watching a dad teach his daughter how to catch and throw a Frisbee. And that shit was some of the sweetest thing. I started tearing up, too, watching that.
I'm tearing up about that right now.
Yeah, I can see it because it's
and
like...
I don't even know if I want kids.
Yeah, I'm on the fence, too. But then again, I don't know. You never know. Nature, man. It beckons.
I cannot say that I share the sentiments.
No, I know you
guys
don't.
do.
Yeah, I know you don't.
No, like I'm like
okay.
horrified listening to you guys say
But you know what? Actually, I'll take it back more to your point. That scene where she's talking about that story, that makes me cry watching her tear up because it's just such a good performance. And you can tell that as Meg Ryan is saying this, she doesn't really need to act. Like she's just putting herself in her character's shoes and it's just making her emotional. Yeah. Because she feels that so much herself. And also, it is so beautifully lit. She's so beautifully lit in that scene. Her eyes are just sparkling. So when her eyes start to swell, you really see it. Mm-hmm. And you really feel it.
Well up with tears?
Is that how you say it? You don't say swell?
No, her eyes are not swelling. That's what happens to Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall.
No, that's eyes popping. Those are bulging eyes.
But they're swelling.
Really?
They swell before they pop.
I guess. Well, anyways, when her eyes pop out in that scene, it's so emotional.
You would say they're welling with tears, right?
It is welling?
Yes.
It's welling.
Okay.
They're not swelling.
They're not swelling.
Swelling.
Wow, I learned something today.
No, eyes swelling is immediately followed by the noise.
Oh, wow. That scene with Meg Ryan on Mars.
Learn something new every day.
You still have to watch that, Alexis, right?
Watch what?
Total Recall.
Am I supposed to watch that?
I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah,
but
you're a film major.
You should. It's a good movie.
Alexis doesn't love sci-fi.
I do like
You don't
sci-fi.
hate it, but you don't love it either. You don't go out of your way to see it.
No.
No, that's too bad.
I mean, I don't know. What would you classify sci-fi? Like, what other movies?
I don't have time.
Yeah, let's not go down that rabbit hole.
It's a big genre. If
What's
it's got aliens or futuristic technology,
spaceships
it's probably
is a big help.
Sci-fi.
Time travel.
Oh. I mean, I think there's just like a handful of movies that I'm very partial to that I rewatch.
Okay,
cool.
for sure. Yeah, I feel like I'm the same way with rom-coms. Honestly,
I am too.
Like,
yeah,
it's a big genre,
Yeah.
but there are like
there are
like
the
a handful
pillars.
of rom-coms where I'm like,
I feel
I'm good with these.
See, I feel like there's like so many rom-coms that people could just like they could just throw on and I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever, and I'll just like be on my phone or
Right.
like me. I don't even have to like tune in, but I'm definitely down to just sit there and watch it.
Yeah.
Don't know. I think for me like rom-coms are kind of this like can be this just passive enjoyment. I mean, like this movie, I told my dad before I left, I was like, I think this is probably the best written romantic comedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I've ever seen.
One of you have something to say?
Oh, I just want to shout out like Nora Ephron as an incredible writer in the genre, because even though I don't love it nearly as much as this movie, I still think it's a very good movie. Sleepless in Seattle is a fucking ballsy, and it was her directorial debut, I believe.
Yeah, she directed that too.
Yeah.
And Rob Reiner's in it.
Yes.
Which I love.
Yeah, the director of this movie is the like best friend character to Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
But that is a ballsy ass rom-com where
it is.
You make a rom-com where your romantic leads do not meet until the last scene of the movie.
I'll say that
is fucking bold.
That's what works the least in that film. It does, but here's the thing: is that it still, in the end of the day, works. It does, and that is a miracle. And that she does pull it off. I think I think that the ending's more of a fizzle than a celebration, like the end of When Harry Met Sally.
See, I think
which has one of the best "I'm in love with you" speeches of all time.
Gets me every time. I'm crying every single time.
Yeah, me too. I cannot watch Billy Crystal confess his love during that New Year's party without crying.
I watched it.
It's incredible.
I watched this movie twice this week, and I cried both times.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That shows that you are a normal human being, because that is just so good. I love it when you get that little crinkle above your nose. You don't cry that, do you?
No.
You cold-hearted bastard.
Come on, we're
I
all.
can't say anything against that, but damn.
Hey, listen. Much like this movie, this podcast, it's about old friends,
That's right.
Yeah.
and we all love each other.
That is true.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we do all love each other. I can attest to that.
I don't know. I guess I think it's sweet, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really not a sucker for rom-coms, and I'm really not a sucker for crying in movies that much. Like,
Yeah.
I am probably more cold-hearted than both of you to some degree. But this movie, it breaks my shell.
It's so good.
Yeah.
A story that I really like. I'm sure so many people have heard it, but I'm just going to say it here in case you haven't. The famous scene. You know what scene I speak. Yeah.
Me and Natalie laughed so hard.
Can men actually tell the difference? And I firmly,
I'll keep doing it.
I firmly stand on the side that men cannot tell the difference because Nora Ephron has this great story where she says during the premiere of the film, whole packed theater full of people, and that scene comes and she doesn't know how it's going to be received. And as Meg Ryan is orgasming on camera, or faking an orgasm really, all of the women in the audience are laughing their asses off, like uncontrollable laughter. And all of the men that they're there with in this movie are dead silent in the audience. And that's when Nora Ephron knew that, we struck gold with this. Which I love that story. I mean, it proves the proof is in the pudding, guys.
Yeah, they're having this like severe moment of disillusionment that the reality that they thought they were in is falling apart.
Yeah. This masculine fear that they've had, this insecurity, is now being like, oh yeah, fuck, no, could be. No, there's a chance. And then another funny story from the making of that film was apparently Meg Ryan felt kind of uncomfortable to give that performance on camera. And so instead, to make her feel better, Rob Reiner sat in and performed the whole scene across the table from Billy Crystal, including the orgasm. And for those of you
who delivers the famous line, one of, I would argue, the most famous lines in film history.
Because as I commented, there's a lot of people that know that line and don't even know what movie it's from.
Yeah.
I'll have what she's having.
Yes, it's famous.
The woman who delivers that line
is Rob Reiner's mother.
I got to do that little trivia off to my family while we watched this movie.
So after Rob Reiner is apparently, I love it because Billy Crystal is telling the story. He's like, Rob Reiner, he was catching his breath afterwards. He was red in the face, and he goes over to me and he goes, Billy. I go, what? He goes, I think I just had an orgasm in front of my mother. And apparently Meg Ryan saw that go down, and she's like, you know what? Yeah, no, I got this. I fucking got this. Let's go.
Can't be more embarrassing than what this man just did.
Yeah, for real. Dude, I love the line when he says they should really just combine the obituaries with the real estate section.
So
and I was like, they should.
That's so clever.
I love that moment because that is the moment where you can see what is the real mark of a relationship blossoming. He gets a laugh.
Yep. It's
he gets
humor.
A laugh
it's
from
them
her.
being themselves.
Yeah. I love it so much.
And you made another good point, Zach.
Of course I did.
Of course, you make good points all the time. And here's another one. I'm going to give you another one. I'm going to reiterate another one here.
Yes!
Another good benchmark of a relationship, and it doesn't have to be a romantic one, it can be a friendship, is when you pick a silly voice that you do together. There's too much pepper on my paprikash. Say it, Alexis, go. There's too much pepper.
There's too much pepper
on my paprikash.
On my paprikash.
There is too much pepper on my paprikash.
Would you like to go to the movies with me later?
Would you like to go to the movies with me?
No. Do not answer. Repeat. Would you like to go to the movies with me later?
Mick had to stipulate it doesn't have to be a romantic one.
Yeah.
Because the number of voices that we've developed.
Well, no, that doesn't count because this is romantic.
Also in this.
Well, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but between other friends.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm so glad that Sloane's behind on the podcast because it'll give me a few weeks time before she really lets the betrayal sink in.
Yeah,
her mom listens.
A delayed
so
betrayal.
She's gonna find out.
That she isn't the only one who receives your strange voices?
No, that Zach and I are romantically involved.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, we're,
okay.
yeah, we're smooching on the daily.
Yep.
Yep.
On the daily. On the D. Well, not on the daily.
Me looking under the table to see if you guys are touching again.
Oh, God. Oh. So strong. He grips. With his toes.
Gripping.
Oh, my God. Now I'm just thinking about everything, everything.
Everywhere all at
Nope, keep
once.
going.
I gotcha. Don't worry.
With
I
the
came in with the
feet,
assist.
With the feet.
Playing the piano with her
Yes.
feet.
Oh, yeah.
And grabbing things. You guys ever grab things with your feet?
Often.
Often, all the
Same.
time.
And
I'm
I'm
grabbing
asked to
something
stop.
right now with my feet. Can you
You're
guess what it is?
nasty.
It's Zach.
Knew that one.
So as I said, when I was a kid, I really looked up to Billy Crystal. I just loved I loved his whole shtick. You know, he's funny. I think he's charming, and it still stands up on a rewatch. And I have used lines from this movie multiple times. And one of my favorite lines is, you know, sometimes I think about hieroglyphics. I think it's just an ancient comic strip about a guy named Sphinxy. I've actually used that on dates before, and it always gets a laugh.
Because it's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. I don't have to rely on lines from other things because I'm just really funny.
Well,
but,
there you go. But
I'm about 50-50.
50-50. Yeah. Yeah.
I appreciate your candor.
The best artists steal, though, Zach. Let's remember.
They remix.
We do a remix, exactly. Another.
Geniuses don't have to.
Oh God.
All right. You know what's one of my favorite parts of the movie?
What's your favorite part of the movie, Alexis?
It's when he explains the difference between a high maintenance and a low maintenance woman, and then she asks, "Well, what am I?"
Oh,
and he
God.
says, "You're the worst kind of woman. You're a high maintenance woman who thinks she's low maintenance." And I just
Yeah.
looked at my sister from across the room, and I was like, "Yeah."
Oh, that's when they're on the bed together, but not together. 'Cause it's
Yeah,
split
the
screen.
split screen.
They're both watching Casablanca.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
You should watch.
I should watch.
Have
Yeah.
you guys seen
I've seen it
You've seen it.
in theaters.
Oh, shit.
which is
For
how
the
I
first
want
time,
to
yeah.
do it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
I'm always jealous of that when someone gets to see like a great movie for the first time in theaters.
It was that
Yeah.
and Philadelphia Story were
Nice.
just like, I was like, oh, fuck, I'm so happy that I got to see this in theaters.
I'm seeing Philadelphia Story in
Yeah.
theaters next week,
Oh,
which I'm
nice.
so excited for.
So, I want to shout this movie out for one. I mean,
Barry Sonnenfeld, the DP, who also went on to
Yeah.
direct Men in Black and The Addams Family and The Addams Family Values.
think he did wonderful work on this.
He
Oh,
was
so beautiful.
He was one of the Coens' early guys.
One of the shots of them in the park with the orange leaves behind
So
them
pretty.
is
I
gorgeous.
love
It's
that
an
one.
iconic shot.
Yes.
It's such a long take, and I really enjoy it.
Where they're
It's
describing
giving Annie Hall.
Sexual
but
dreams.
so
that
much
they've
better
had.
because fuck Woody Allen, you know?
Well, hold on.
I
I
still
mean,
haven't
fuck Woody
seen
Allen,
Annie
but
Hall.
Annie Hall is such a good movie. It
I've
is.
never
I
seen
will.
Annie.
Didn't
his
I just
movies.
say Annie Hall?
No,
but
I know.
Fuck Woody Allen.
yeah.
Is that what you
Mick.
said?
Yeah, I
Why
said.
are you trying to silence women?
Well, I'm not trying to silence women.
It's like you almost
I'm trying
don't want to
s-
hear women talking.
Oh,
Oh, I can't hear
got
women
you.
talking all over all those yammering.
Broads.
Oh God. No, I love that.
Dolores.
See, that shows me
Gotta
she has a
love
good
you.
sense of humor.
She does.
If you don't find that funny, there's something wrong with you. No, I said it. I stand by
The
it.
other thing that I
Email
wanted
us.
The other thing that I wanted to make a quick note of is a very solid moment of comedy editing, because in the scene, it's also, I believe, in Central Park, where Sally's describing her sexual fantasy that she's had
Yeah.
since she was 12 years old, this
Yeah.
dream where a faceless man tears her clothes off. And he's like,
Yeah.
that's it? A faceless guy tears your clothes off? And she's like, well, no, sometimes I change it up. How? What do you change up? What I'm wearing.
Yeah.
You could end that scene on what I'm wearing, and that would be
And
funny.
most rom-coms would.
And that would be funny. That would
Yeah.
be a funny button to a scene.
But you know what would be funnier?
If you cut back to Billy Crystal's reaction, where he's just kind of
Yeah.
searching for words,
Yeah.
can't find any, and then they keep walking.
Yeah.
That's good rhythmic comedy
Yeah.
editing.
And
I just want to shout that out because I feel like comedy movies, particularly a lot of contemporary comedies where there's a lot of improv,
Yeah.
don't necessarily pay as much attention to their craft. And
Yeah.
this movie is,
great across the board. Not only is the leading cast wonderful,
Yeah.
is the direction wonderful, is the cinematography wonderful, but it's got fucking damn good editing.
Yeah.
That's why you can believe that
Yeah.
a 12-year relationship plays out over 96 minutes.
Absolutely. And another great example of that is in the beginning diner scene where they're talking about Sheldon the Wonderschlong and Days of the Week Underpants.
Right,
And it was like,
Sheldon.
where's Sunday? What happened to Sunday? And I told him he didn't believe me. What is it? They don't make Sunday. Why not? Because of God. And then, the scene does not end. They then cut to Billy Crystal just looking like he's not saying it. He's just soaking in like what just went down, like we are as an audience, and that's such a real moment. And that's why, so Alexis, you highlighted something earlier, which I'm really glad about, which is like there are so many rom-coms, and you can just return to them, and they can just like play in the background, and it's fun. When Harry Met Sally is not one of those movies. When Harry Met Sally is one of the best of all time because of the moments we're talking about. Real adult conversation is like this.
Yeah, I think because it's instead of like rom-coms being kind of superficial in a lot of ways, this is more of like a deep dive character study of two people who eventually end up together.
And you compare them through contrast. I mean, that's a whole fucking movie.
Exactly. You know what's one of my favorite things though is he makes some mention about how she looks so good in skirts, and then in the very next scene she's literally wearing a skirt, and I was just like so they're just like little tiny ways that you can kind of tell that like either I don't know, just kind of she feels validated by things that he says, I think, or kind of takes. She's a little high strung, so the fact that she's like taking his advice, I think, says a lot.
Yeah.
I also think that another moment of like character growth that is after Harry's incredible freak out about the wagon wheel coffee table.
Yeah.
After he's seen his ex-wife, that he ends with his friend going, I thought you said you liked it. I was being nice!
Yeah.
After all of that, he gets angry with Sally. They get into a fight. And then at the end of that, he goes, are you finished now? Can I say something? I'm sorry.
Yeah, which, by the way, is a ballsy move. After a woman very much tells you off, and rightly so, because he was acting a dick, he was acting an ass, he says, are you finished? Wow.
Yeah.
He's lucky that she received that well, because if someone said that to me, like, are you finished? I'd be like, motherfucker, no, I'm not. I got more to tell you, and I'd slap him across the face. Speaking of which, and she does slap him across the face, because he is an ass later in the film.
Yeah.
Who is the dog? Oh, that's what it is.
That's
it's like,
a
you
fucking
took
incredible
pity
line
on me?
Incredible line delivery
Fuck you.
that she has, though.
He had it coming.
That was
Let's
like-
admit it.
that was like-
I am the dog? I am the dog?
Yes, you are the dog. Yeah, no, he had that coming. He needed to
That
get
was like
slapped.
watching a fucking train wreck happen before my eyes.
And then
like
they
that
come
entire scene.
and then they come out, and the marriage toast is to them together,
Because-
to Harry and
yeah.
Sally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
If
man.
either of us had found either of them
attractive.
remotely attractive,
Yeah, we
None
wouldn't
of us
be
would
here.
be here.
Oh, it's so good. There's
Which-
so many good moments in this movie.
it's,
Oh.
yeah.
I love that, like, when she's, like, bawling about Joe getting, like, married,
Mm-hmm.
he makes her laugh, and I love it when movies do this, because it's so real. It's, like, the moment you have this good, genuine laugh, and then it turns right back into sobbing.
Crying. Yeah, no, that's for real. That's very real.
Yeah, that's the moment where she goes, she's talking about how she's going to be 40 in 8 years, but someday it's there. And don't pretend that it's the same for men. It's not. Charlie Chaplin had babies when he was 73. Yeah, but he was too old to pick them up.
And that's when God, that's so funny. See, that's what I mean. Oh, God, Billy Crystal.
I
He's
love
the best.
Billy Crystal.
He is the best.
Mike
My God.
Wazowski.
I want to say
Wazowski.
that I think the other reason that I find Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan to be a more compelling pairing than Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks.
It's because you see them together in more than
Well,
just
yeah,
one
no,
scene.
beyond that. Which, again, still a fucking ballsy-ass move for a rom-com that I think Sleepless in Seattle pulls off pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan both kind of have, like, I'm the nicest person in America energy.
Yeah.
You know, just, like, very sweet,
Yeah.
folksy energy.
Billy Crystal does not have that.
Yeah, Tom Hanks doesn't really have a flaw. His character doesn't really have a flaw, other than he's having trouble getting back out there.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
And generally, like Tom Hanks's screen persona and his celebrity persona, are, it's America's Dad,
right?
And I think that it's more compelling to pair Meg Ryan, who's kind of this, maybe a little exacting. For lack of a better term, flibberty-gibbet. We've never heard this?
Jesus,
I've definitely heard flibberty-gibbet.
She's a bit of a flibberty-gibbet.
I've heard, contextually. Okay, go on.
I think that it's more compelling to pair her with someone like Billy Crystal, who's kind of prickly.
Flibberty-gibbet and prickly.
Yeah.
Well, Meg Ryan...
The classic, the two genders.
Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks were also in another movie together, You Got Mail, and I think Tom Hanks
that's
plays
also a Nora
kind of a
Ephron
dick
movie, right?
in that movie.
Yeah, I also don't like that movie as much. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's about how you should let a big business crush your struggling bookstore because it's run by a hunk.
Yeah, my dad asked me, he was like, oh, so you don't think that You Got Mail is as good? And I was like, no, definitely not. But, and I think that this is like a testament to how good like When Harry Met Sally is, and like the writing is that in You've Got Mail there's an external conflict on top of the conflict like between them. It's the whole business with the bookstore, and that's kind of what's getting in the way of, other than them themselves as people, that's getting in the way of the romance. Whereas in When Harry Met Sally, it really just is them getting in the way of their own romance. It's like, they're just on their own kind of journey. And it's much more interesting because you get to know these characters on such a deeper level.
Yeah. Will they, won't they? And they don't truly confess how they truly feel when maybe they should.
I love the moment of contrast. We've been talking about, I love the moment of contrast when Jess and Marie, they're two friends who they've brought out on a double date to try to pair up with one another.
Yeah.
They hit it off, and unlike Harry and Sally, who are, in some ways wasting time not confessing their feelings to one another, Jess and Marie hop in a cab, gone.
Yeah,
married.
Two different styles right there.
It's so funny.
Well, I think that's kind of what is also highlighted with the couples in between, like the story of
the
chapters.
Is that it just kind of highlights the fact that like some people know, and some people just don't. Some people just like need more time to get to that,
Yeah,
and it also provides like comfort to the audience, where it's like, at some point, these two people are gonna be these people talking about the events that you're seeing right now.
Yeah. One of my favorite couples is the one that like the ones that like they talk over each other.
Yeah.
Are they like Italian or something?
He was in the something floor. I was on the 8th, and
they
finish each other's sentences.
He was on the 3rd. I was on the 12th. I wrote up 9 whole floors, just 9 whole floors.
9 extra floors. Yeah, so sweet.
Yeah,
really, really great film from top to bottom. Should we say, is it a perfect movie? Is When Harry Met Sally a perfect movie?
I think it might be a perfect movie, actually.
I think it might be, yeah.
It's maybe the second perfect movie we've covered after The Thing.
This is probably one of the only, like, romantic comedies that I've ever, like, rated, like, a 5, I think.
Yeah. No, it's a 5 for sure. Because I can't think of a flaw with it.
Yeah.
Perfect movie.
And when Enrique's friend was over the other night, I forget her name, Megan, right? Megan, if you listen to this, we were talking about rom-coms. Hi, Megan. And
the two she brought up. Bridget Jones's Diary.
But then we realized, but what's the best of all time?
And she was like,
When Harry Met Sally.
Hey.
Yeah, fantastic.
Girl, you know.
So I think it's in the zeitgeist. Like, we all kind of agree. It's fantastic.
America knows.
You can't beat it.
Honestly, watching this movie, I was almost more concerned with how much I agreed with Harry on things.
Yeah.
I was like, this is concerning. Am I a prick?
No.
It's like those,
No, because I don't think Billy
those,
Crystal's a prick in the film.
It's like those edgelord memes that came out around The Dark Knight, where it's like, when you're a child, you idolize Batman. When you're an adult, you realize the Joker makes more sense. When you're a child, you idolize Sally. When you're an adult, you realize Harry makes more sense.
Yeah, but that's the thing. When I was a kid, I idolized Billy Crystal. When I'm older, I idolize Billy Crystal.
Yeah, but you're just a fucking freak who's never grown up, so.
Oh, wow. Damn. I wish I had to retort for that, but I don't, because he's kind of right.
Yeah, I still love you, though.
Yeah,
I know,
no,
I
like the part where Harry starts.
It had to be you.
I'm gonna
you.
be leaving this apartment. They're gonna be walking into a room together singing that.
I finally found someone so round.
Hold up. Hey,
Love you, buddy.
I've been going to the gym lately.
Have you?
Yeah,
You look
all right.
great.
Don't start.
No, I'm just saying, you look great.
All right.
Did you get a haircut, too?
I'm sorry.
yet.
Why not?
Didn't you ever listen to Wayne talk about how there's 2 things to keep a good woman?
Yeah.
Never let her out of your sight, and never mention
Sure
her
her
weight.
weight.
I know you're pretty good at the first one, but apparently you need some help on the second, Mickey boy.
I gotta eat.
God, the transatlantic accent, is that what that was?
I don't know what it was.
I liked it when
I
I
just-
Watch out for that Hitler. He's a bad egg.
I let it come to me naturally.
Love it.
Yeah, no, so one of my favorite things is how Harry's just like kind of explaining to Sally, like, you know, when you're leaving, after you have sex, I'm always trying to calculate, when can I leave? When is too soon to leave? When
Yeah.
should I leave?
Zach and I talked about this, yeah.
Yeah, it is very relatable because
No, it
then
is.
as soon as he has sex with Sally, you can see it
That
on his
great
face.
shot where she's digging it. She kisses him
Oh,
on the
yeah.
collarbone, and the camera pulls away, and you see this look of abstract horror.
But it's not just that. It's when you pull away, you can see that half of his body is already out
of the bed, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, he is ready to go. And then she's like, you want to go to bed? And he's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
And then as
no,
soon as they get up in the morning, out of the door.
That's another thing. It's like, oh God, he's just so right, you know, because that, you know, you sleep with somebody and then you're just there like waiting, like, okay, can I leave or do I have to be here all night? Absolutely true. Absolutely
Spoken
true.
like someone who had a bed that was bigger than a twin long in
Oh, that's
college.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was lucky to sleep in someone else's bed because I'm
Yeah.
long and tall and had a tiny bed.
That's true. God,
Yeah.
the good old days. God, I miss college.
Just whoring myself around.
God.
Anyway.
For the film major fans, a little bit of trivia. Zach Harris and I actually shared not
We
only
shared
apartment,
a bedroom.
we shared a bedroom in college.
Yeah, they did.
It was yeah, we did.
Relax.
And yeah, it was
Down, boy.
it was an interesting experience, that's for sure. And by interesting, I mean wonderful. A wonderful time.
Didn't
Yeah.
you sleep with, like,
Had to be
earplugs?
you.
Yeah, it did no good. No good.
It had to be you.
I would say, Zach, you are so loud. You are loud when you're asleep. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
You know that Sloan woke me up a couple nights ago being like, you keep saying, come on. Come on.
While
in
you
your
were
sleep.
sleeping?
Are you okay? I was having a dream where 3 kids in a trench coat were trying to get in somewhere, and Sloan was like, yeah, no, that's an adult woman. And I was like, come on!
Wow.
And I was so incensed in my dream
Yeah.
that I was clearly articulating my displeasure with
Interesting.
her next to me.
That's a fascinating dream.
Yeah, which is
Interesting.
funny because, you know, if that happened in reality, I would be like, yeah, that's an adult, sure.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I would be the most on board with that bit.
Yeah. No, me too. I'm sharper in my dreams than I am in real life.
Yeah.
I make more logical choices in my dreams. Has this episode run its course?
This episode is now longer than when Harry met Sally.
I'm not surprised.
Last thing, I did ask my dad and my sister what their favorite thing about the movie was, and my sister said the fake orgasm scene, but also she loves the way that Sally orders, and I was like, yeah, because it's you.
Oh my God.
That's
And I
the
was
only
like,
thing that would be a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
I've watched both my mom and my middle sister like put in an order where they're very particular, like not as hardcore as Sally is, but they're very particular about certain things, and like
As Sally
it's
says, I
made
just
me-
want it how I want it.
Exactly. No, my sister agrees. She's like, they put too much dressing so I want it on the side, So she agrees with the whole thing, and I was just like, hey, at least my sister is aware that she's a high maintenance person,
Yeah, self-awareness is important.
And then my dad just thinks that the back and forth arguments are so good because they're acting like a married couple before they even get together.
Married.
Yeah. So
That's how you know it's real.
no.
Good stuff. Real chemistry, some of the best chemistry you've ever seen.
Yeah. Also, I love when she's like, they have the one scene where they get the Christmas tree together, and then at the very end, when she's still trying to keep herself away from him, she's like struggling to get this fucking Christmas tree home.
Yeah. It really shows you how things have changed.
Well, I think it's just like you can see by contrast how kind of their lives just aren't as good without the other one in it. I guess it's kind of what it is. Yeah.
Mick, I'm going to let you have the last word. Is there anything else you'd like to say on When Harry Met Sally?
No.
Cool. All right. So next week...
It's all been said.
So for the record, you can find this movie on HBO Max.
Okay, great.
Our next movie...
What is our next movie?
You guys are going to not be able to find anywhere on the internet. But I refuse to apologize because it rules. So, figure it out.
You'll figure it out. Yeah, it's not our problem. It's yours.
Yeah, it's your problem. And that movie is David Lynch's 1990 film, Wild at Heart.
Oh, I love the idea of that because I haven't seen it.
I cannot wait to talk about this movie because it features several actors
Willem Dafoe.
I love that we have not watched a film starring yet.
Okay.
Oh,
It
right,
stars
yeah.
Nicolas Cage,
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Laura Dern,
Oh, yes.
Willem Dafoe,
Oh, my.
and returning from our Death Becomes Her episode, which is one of our best performing episodes, Isabella Rossellini.
Oh, keep your ass handy.
Also, Harry Dean Stanton. Fuck yeah.
Oh, we love Harry Dean Stanton on this show.
Yeah.
Harry, hope you're doing well.
I think he's dead.
Oh, I didn't even know he was sick.
I'm actually not positive that he's dead. So if
Alexis,
you're alive,
is Harry Dean
congratulations.
Stanton, is he dead or alive? Look it up, Alexis, before we finish this episode. Because we can't leave the episode. We can't leave the listeners on a cliffhanger. They want to know, where's Harry?
If you want to find us on social media, you can find us at Film Majors Pod on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And if you want to send us some sort of a suggestion of what you'd like us to discuss, you can reach out to us at filmmajorspod@gmail.com. And is Harry Dean Stanton alive?